Hello YouTube and welcome to a new series on the channel here today. Today we're going to be watching Delicious in Dungeon, or Dungeon Meshi, or Dun Meshi, or whatever you really want to say. It's that one, the one where they eat stuff in the dungeon. And I'm looking forward to it. I don't really know that much about it, so I'm keen to jump in. So first things first, we have a little bit of context diving into today's video, and that context is this show recently won a poll. It won a poll against, what was its closest competitors? Just put the results up, that's easiest. Yeah, won the poll with the closest competitors being Tanya the Evil and like that jellyfish show and the Apothecary Diaries. So those are some pretty heavy hitters in my opinion. They had a lot of support going into the poll, and they kind of all got smoked by Delicious in Dungeon. So that excites me. That is something that people want to watch, right? And I remember when this show first came out, it was kind of, it was there. It was like this trigger thing, came from a pretty acclaimed manga, and then it just kind of kept coming out and kept getting more popular and kept maybe getting better, propelling that popularity and that kind of thing. So I've just kind of been watching it on the sidelines. It's been a meme tour de force. I've seen lots and lots of memes about this show without really knowing much about the characters, so I'm keen to jump into that as well, which is always exciting to see something grow, to see, a real kind of force get behind something. That makes me excited to join said force. Speaking of said force, I should have a look at who's made said force with this button? Yeah, that'll do. Delicious in Dungeon, everybody. It's a TV anime. This is the ANN page. If you scroll down here, you can see who made it. Very, very cool. The director of this show is Yoshihiro Miyajima. And if I click over here, we can see that Yoshihiro Miyajima is basically a Studio Trigger guy. That's a lot of Studio Trigger right there, with a few differences. I'm pretty sure that JoJo's isn't. He episode directed one episode. That's actually kind of based. But yeah, I mean, most of these are trigger things. Often being involved with storyboarding, episode directing, assistant directing, pretty high up at Trigger, it seems like. If we pop over here to the series comp and script, we've got Kimiko Ueno. And if we have a scroll here, we can see, oh yeah, a few trigger things here and there, but a bit more of a wider berth of stuff. I think the number one thing here that's pulling me is not Space Patrol Luluco, even though that is relevant. Space Dandy, 5 episodes and a few more in the second season, so did a lot of writing for Space Dandy, something that's pretty acclaimed, pretty well liked, a pretty prestigious director. Like it's a pretty big get, Worked on the Pokemon Horizon stuff, a little bit of Little Witch Academia, BNA, which I actually thought was pretty good. It's a little bit of a contentious one. Carol and Tuesday, which I did not think was very good, but that's neither here nor there. And Yurei Deco, which is a really weird one. That's with Silent Saru. Strange show, really strange. Kind of terrible, but at least it's strange, not like boring terrible. The last person on the staff I really even wanted to have a look at, there was a couple more, but mostly it was just like miscellaneous stuff and trigger things, so like that's not really helping us much, was the music by Yasunori Mitsuda, because I just feel like the music in trigger shows is generally pretty important. This is a fantasy thing. That seems like there should be some pretty killer music, and then you scroll down and it's all soccer. He just made soccer music. So I don't really know what to make of that. And I guess Black Butler if you wanted to be that specific. But like, yeah, it surprised me. I don't know. I was expecting it to go one way or the other, like a lot of things everywhere or a lot of things at Trigger. And it kind of went neither way. So we'll keep an eye on the music, I guess. I'm getting a little bit of deja vu, and I was thinking about why. And the reason why is that I did, whatchamacallit, I did Panty and Stocking back in the day. So I've kind of done the whole trigger spiel before, where, it came from former Gynax employees and they started making things that very much mirrored former Gynax shows and kind of built this little bit of a cult following. If you care about anime, certain kinds of anime in the long term, if you care about the classics and harkening back to the classics and understanding of place in genre and time and that kind of thing, then Trigger is somebody that should interest you. They are a little bit, what's the word, contentious. Sometimes people think they're a little bit blowhardy, but I'm a Trigger guy. I like Trigger. I think they're pretty good. So if we have a look here, let's just do the whole Trigger thing real quick. Edge Runners is a masterpiece. I love it. I think I gave it a very high 9. I think this score is low. That's insane. But yeah, just entirely focused, brilliant soundtrack, animation, drama, does everything. Now, Gridman Universe, I was unsure about. Very, very, very low members on Mal. But seems like the fans like it. I liked Gridman back in the day, for the record. So I think this is the combination of Gridman and Dynazenon. So, you know. Killer Kill. Hello, Killer Kill. Killer Kill is really good. I know I'm going out on a limb there by saying it's really good. No one has ever said this. But it's really good. I wish I hadn't watched it so I could watch it on the channel, because they would turn into, like, my Utena series at the moment is going insane. I think that's similar things I would do to Kill if I was to watch it again. Premiere I really liked. I thought it was a fun movie. Little Witch Academia, I only really saw a few episodes of the first season. I don't even know if there is multiple seasons, but, you know. Dynazenon, Kiz Navy I've heard things about. Looks pretty interesting from a character design perspective, and I really like the opening, so, you know. BNA, I mentioned before. Pretty good. It's a pretty good show. Darling in the Franxx, I've been a long-time hater, but I've come around to liking certain aspects of it. I don't know. It goes off the rails in the second half. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. The surprise here was looking at the members. Jesus Christ. The power of 02, everybody. Gridman, I really like Gridman. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's a really, really good show. Really great ending. Really brings everything together. And then, yeah, I don't think I've seen anything else here. Penny and Stocking? Did I miss Penny and Stocking? Where's Penny and Stocking? Oh, no, I did that last time as well. I always think Penny and Stocking is a Trigger show, but it's a Gynax show. And you've got the new Penny and Stocking stuff coming from Trigger. So there you go. You learn something new every day. Now, if I pop over here, what's the best way to frame this? I guess I never did my spiel, but the thing I like to do before watching anything is have a little bit of a look at the staff and the key visual and a few other things, just to get a gist of what I'm doing, right? To get my bearings and what I should expect and that kind of thing. Here's the key visual, everybody. At least the one that I've seen the most often used. There was another different key visual that kind of looked like a trillion characters, and I don't think that's something I should be looking at. I think I should be looking at these guys, these main four, because they seem like our four main characters here. Now, I have a little bit of knowledge because I just kind of skipped to a point very, very early in the Netflix VOD just to check some sub stuff. So, Netflix VOD, you know what I mean. But I saw a dragon. There was a giant red dragon that they were fighting. So, you know. I guess I should say I also know the general premise is that these are four fantasy-esque adventurers and they're dungeon diving to look for food, gourmet food, that kind of thing. So I'm not going to be surprised of being like, oh yeah, that's a really neat novel trick that they're doing, that really neat novel kind of flip on the classic fantasy party adventure. Like, yeah, they're just going to make food, and it's going to be more of a focus on the food than the rest of the stuff that you would do based on dungeon diving, like propelling plot and doing it for a lord and doing it for a guild or that kind of thing. It's going to be way more self-motivated, I feel. Anyway, let's talk about these characters. One, I'm liking some of these creature designs up the top here. I think they're kind of neat. There's some ghosts over here too, which is always fun. There's like a spider helmet. That's cool. And a scorpion with some coins. So, you know. And a creepy carrot. So I've already had a little bit of a look here, but, you know. Let's talk about you. Again, I don't know names, but you're obviously main character man. What do I know about you based on your character design? You look like you're having a good time. That's something. Just a character design, just a guy, knight, probably a knight class, something like that. The hint here is in the spatula. That's the difference, right? And the bouquet of flowers, is it? Cactuses? I don't really know what that's about. But yeah, he's got his normal weapon holstered where the spatula is in his hand. It's a flip on priorities. Very, very cool. Now, you're kind of in the back, but you're the guy that I see in all the memes. So you might be funny. You're like a dwarf. You're like the barbarian of the group. Got a cool helmet. I really like the, I guess, conceit of not showing the mouth, leaving him a little bit emotionless in certain spots. I'm imagining you're kind of a weird freak that stands in the background sometimes for comedic purposes. Speaking of weird freaks, we have this little hobbit boy. What is it that you do? You look way more like a waiter or a gourmet or that kind of thing, right? Because you're carrying all the plates and everything and you're trying to run away. And I feel like the rest of everybody is trying to protect you. Maybe you're the cook. Maybe you're the person that actually puts it all together. That could be something. Okay. And then we have you. You're like a mage or priest, something like that. Again, generally like the design. You both have blonde hair, maybe related, maybe not. Maybe will be related in the future. That's not how marriage works. I don't know. Maybe they'll get together. I don't know. That's what I was trying to say. There's another, again, couple fun flips on the fantasy thing. Like he has his sword holstered. You're wearing oven mitts instead of normal gauntlets or greaves. As well as like sandals. Again, that's one for the foot people. Are you wearing pants? Yes, that's good. Um, you know, it's funny. Laugh at the joke, it's funny. Anyway, I'm not getting much more out of this. There's a dragon with some knights. Maybe they're like haunted or something. But I really like this key visual for an idea. Just kind of really happily running away. The rest are kind of scared. Maybe you're leading them into some kind of turmoil and trouble and that kind of thing. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing. That's part of the fun here, right? So, I know this manga is acclaimed. People like it. Let me get a fucking mal up of the manga. There you go. Hello, Delicious in Dungeon manga. That's a high score, and I know it's not framed correctly, but bear with me. Ranked 86th of all time. This is the 86th best manga of all time, according to Mal, which is the #1 resource for that kind of thing. Very, very cool. But you know, I'm excited based on that. That doesn't come through for no reason. Either it's really fucking funny or the story goes some cool places later. It's one of the two. And I really like it from a premise understanding at the moment as well. So that's just double thumbs up again. When was the last time Trigger did like a manga adaptation? I know they do adaptations, right? They did the Star Wars stuff, they did Cyberpunk, but like a genuine manga thing? Don't know. I don't know the last time they did that, but I'm not going to, hold them too much to account. I'm sure they did a pretty good job. Anyway, I'm yapping like crazy, so I should just jump into the episode, right? Jump into episode 1. I've got a few things to explain. I spent the morning looking at subs and that kind of thing. I would imagine Netflix is the one I'm using. I think it's just Netflix subs. It should be very, very similar to what everyone else has. If the titles, not the titles, the font of the subs may be slightly different, but other than that, we're all Gucci. It's the very G subs. I don't know if that helps anybody. VARYG. That's what I typed into Nia to get them. So, chill stuff. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation and that kind of thing. Comment below. Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back, and the Discord. If you join Discord and talk about Dungeon Meshi, it'll make me very happy. So we should do that, I think. You'll also be able to vote on polls and stuff in the future, and I think what's the next poll? Probably Hibike Euphonium? Probably. So after that's done, then we'll, vote on something else, and you could be in the Discord and vote on that, which is pretty cool. I'm going to watch The Thing, which I've said a number of times now, so I'm just going to do that. Episode 1 of Delicious in Dungeon coming right up. So rightio, I've got episode 1 of Delicious in Dungeon up there ready to go. 26 minutes and 47 seconds on this one, but I don't know if they do the cringe Netflix thing. I think they may be doing the cringe Netflix thing, where the end is just all the subs, all the different kinds of subs maybe. We'll see. I should do this as well and just show you what I have. What's the best way to do that? Probably like this. Yeah, I've got a lot of tracks. I've got track 1 English, which is a proper translation of the Japanese sub, as opposed to track 2, which I believe is a transcript of the dub. So I'd prefer a proper translation, so I'm going with subtrack 1 on this particular subset, which again is the very G or whatever. Anyway, I can't watch the episode like that, otherwise YouTube will kill me. There should be a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. So jump into that at your leisure as well. Pleasure and leisure. Anyway, I'm going to hit play. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, Netflix. I don't think I've watched anything Netflix on the channel before. I don't think so. So that's a new one. Yep. Okay. The Rumbling? Okay. Okay. Oh. This seems pretty serious. Okay, I'm kind of in. That kind of sting in the music as well was really good. There's the dragon that I was watching not too long ago, just checking on some stuff. Oh, yeah, no, there's some of the people that were on the poster. Okay. The boys are hungry, they're lacking their normal edge. Oh, that's no good. Hmm. What is his name? Laos? Oh, she's fucking dead? Oh no. That's bad. Damn. Okay. Dream? Dream. That's surprising to me. I thought we were gonna absolutely defeat the dragon and we are gonna play off that in the comedic sense. Laos. Laos. How about you? Oh no, it wasn't a dream. The magic spell got us out of the. Okay, so she sacrificed herself. Interesting. Can we save her? Is she being digested? We can get back our worldly possessions. Chilchuck? Oh, resignation letters. Okay, cool. Oh no. Pretty competitive job market. Okay, well, we should go defeat the dragon. That's a way to make money. Little sister? Well, that's pretty bad. We should go get her. It's going to be pretty tough. And you're pretty hungry. Well, we implied that, for sure. They all look very yummy. What? Okay. I don't like that idea. But that's pretty heroic. We like that. I think I'm a little off at the moment because I keep thinking it's Konosuba. I keep thinking a joke is about to happen. But that's not natural. That's not how these things work. Okay, you're like a thief. Okay, maybe. Like a rogue. Oh my god. Oh, we'll secure. Okay. Here comes the premise. Gotcha. Oh. Dungeons as little ecosystems of their own. Not really. Chilchuck was thinking about it though. Uh, that looked like that guy from the poster. What the fuck? Oh, that's very funny. They looked but they looked very much like your party. Like there was equivalence there. The handstand's crazy. Okay. Looks pretty old. Mushroom scorpion? Huh. Interesting. So this is like the lobby before you go further down. Interesting. I don't like scorpions, bro. Give me a spider over a scorpion. Little blush. Okay. Okay. I agree. I don't know about loving monsters, especially giant scorpions. Not with you on that. Yeah, they're just kind of in the middle of town. That's weird. Oh, yeah, you got to cut against the grain or with the grain, right? Okay. That looked kind of like tofu or something. I still don't want to eat it. Got to cook it properly. Okay. Well, help me, please. Well, the book was wrong. Oh, okay, no, it just tastes bad. Okay, that almost looks like a lobster or something. Ooh. The feet are tasty? Hey, yo. I'm sniffing mushroom feet. It's like a big wok or something. I think he was watching you guys before, so. It's just moss, bro. Marcil? Oh, it's a slime. I'm like, what kind of slime is this? Okay, saved. Gross. Up your fucking nose? Okay. Trust? Oh. So yeah, here's the thing. I don't think a lot of these diagrams are going to be subbed in the best way. Watch this thing be gas that he's making. That's a lot of steps. Holy fuck. You're very well prepared. Little slime waffle or something. Okay, so you're an expert. Which I mean was pretty obvious from the rest of the stuff. He grew up in the dungeon. Has a taste. Little something. A little bit of soy or something. Looks pretty good. She's still pretty skeptical. Then you should eat it. That meal there has 45 grams of protein or something. You can tell. That's dungeon crawling food. Oh, okay. I wish you didn't tell me. There you go. What are they? Tree trunks that grow down. Senshi. Senshi researcher. Chilichuk, Marcil, Laos, and Senshi. Yes. How big is this freaking dungeon? Oh, not the red dragon. Well, that's great news. Because I think she may be in his digestive tract somewhere. With pleasure, considering our lack of staff at the moment. Mmm. Oh, to eat it, of course. What the hell's a shabu shabu? Oh yeah, great point. That's weird. I've never thought about that. What the fuck? This is still the basement? What is this? What in the Dark Souls is this? What the hell? Or Made in Abyss? This shit's crazy. Okay, she fell off. Mm-hmm. Uh, I don't want to sleep outside basically at all. I don't know. That may just be because I'm Australian, though. Because things outside will kill me. It's just the way things go. She wants some friggin' KFC or something. Bit of Kentucky Fried. Unhelpful. It's a very girlfriend answer. Um, I'm not doing that. I don't want to eat a goblin. Hey, yo. I'm not eating that. What about just like another big slug or something? You're also right, though. She is. As long as it's edible, but not like that. Well, that's great. That's terrifying. Sorry, where'd you go? Yeah, but they're fucking. That's terrifying. Yeah, look at that rat there. Jesus. Correct. But I don't like thinking about it. It's like whenever I eat meat, I don't want to think about how it was made. It's time to fight some plants. Oh, wizard moment? Maybe priest. I'm still unsure. Are we going to do the tentacle thing? Take as much as you eat. To answer the question, it seems like we are. That's not. Why are you telling me that? Shut up. Fix me. Oh, what a hero. Ow. Hey, yo. Get up. Laos. I don't want to hear about any of this. Bro, plants terrify me. I don't want to be thinking about that. That was like a YouTube edit of itself. That was fucking weird. That's just like a big cucumber or something. Cucumber. Capsicum. What the fuck? Are we making like a pie? What the hell are we doing? Yeah, sure. Correct opinion. Bro, I'm with like Marcel a lot. I think she's on the right track. Man eating plants fruit tart. Can't read. She has some dietary preferences. Indeed. Well, you don't seem as disgusted now. You're getting into it, and that's good. Oh, just chuck it off the bridge. Oh, I hate how grey he is. That's kind of gross. I agree. That's brutal. How long's this journey? Because that's my next question. How long are we going to be looking for the sister for? Damn. Oh, title drop. Interesting. Um, Bump of chicken? Jesus Christ, not the one I would have picked. Episode 1 was good. Introduced premise. You know, what more do you want, really? A little bit one note. We kind of go for like the two sequences we did around the hot pot and the tart were pretty similar. And I'm imagining both of those are two different chapters. I'm keen to meet some more of these characters too. I'm imagining this is the opening. It feels more opening than ending. This just makes me think I'm watching Sengatsu no Lion. I don't know why, it just does. Or the one. You know the one? The one with the ending. Oh, Blood Battlefront Blockade, something like that. Speaking of blood, oh my god. Oh, no, yeah, this is way more of like a Ren Fair type thing. Yeah, I like the song. Yeah, see, my question is, are they going to do the Netflix thing? If so, I'll have time to speak to you about various things. I think I'm going to have time to speak to you about various things. So yeah, I mean, they're going to do the Netflix thing. In the future, I'll probably just end up cutting stuff like this. But, I mean, yeah, it could be funnier, I think, as well. Jokes are good. I'm warming to Marcel most of all. I think I like her the best, just because she's the straight man to it all. But um, 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 it was good. I don't know. Also, did that say who I think it was in the dub for the English voice acting who plays Senshi? That's interesting. I know that name. Yeah, we get it. Please release me from this mortal coil. I must ask once again for you to release me. There we go. I have been released. I'm going to talk about episode 1 of Delicious in Dungeon right now. And there we go, chat room. Episode 1 of Dungeon Meshi. Delicious in Dungeon, whatever you want to say. Yeah, it was good. I'm waiting for more. I think this was like a test run to see how many episodes I'll generally do in an episode, or how many episodes I'll do in a video, I should say. And it's probably leaning towards the more episode side of things if things stay the same, right? It's not really a show where you're reading the dialogue, scanning for information, looking for mysteries, figuring things out from that perspective. It's more of a, hey, these are some fun characters. They bounce off each other really well. Uh, we've got a general premise around cooking dungeon food. We're probably going to cook 2 or 3 things an episode and move from there. That's not to say that the show won't evolve. That's not to say that things won't start happening, that machinations won't start occurring. But just for now, it seems pretty straightforward. And straightforward isn't a bad thing. I actually really like straightforward TV anime, especially that are releasing weekly. It helps you to check in every week and not feel like you have to revise before checking in, you know? That was one of my big pet peeves when I used to do a lot of seasonals, was shows that clearly clearly they would have to know that they're not dominating your attention right this second, right? They're just not. And shows that would not explain things or reiterate things or anything like that, and you'd just get lost and fall off things because again, I have a life that I lead outside of watching anime. It's true. So I can't just revise everything all the time. So something like this, feels good. It felt a lot like Konosuba. It felt like we've got a general premise here. We're going to play off some fantasy party tropes somewhere a little bit. Obviously not as farcical as Konosuba, but a little bit more of a structured premise. Doesn't hurt. But I may treat it in a similar light as a result. Again, we'll see how the thing evolves into itself, the show, and it gets into its structures and stuff. I think that'll be where I make my final decisions. Well, not final decisions, some more decisions. Anyway, I'm rambling. I should look through this intro again because I think that's kind of interesting in retrospect, considering nothing of the type came up again at all after the fact. So let's give it a read and see if we can glean anything based on what we've seen thus far. So we start with this unique, really kind of almost like not crayon, like charcoaly? Yeah, almost. This really like charcoaly art style on this kind of parchment paper lit up like this. It reminds me of something else I watched on the channel that is escaping me right at this moment, maybe certain parts of Monogatari. And we get this little monologue as to, I don't know, some kind of backstory about something. It all started in a small village. One day, a rumble in the ground caused a rift under the cemetery. Okay, this is like the creation of the dungeon. And a single man appeared from that kind of rift, right, in the cemetery, where the dungeon is now. He claimed to be the king of a once prosperous kingdom. Interesting. Some kind of underground kingdom hiding beneath everything. He reaches the top layer and finds that the people on the surface know nothing about it. He claimed to be the king of a once prosperous kingdom, true. He states that the once glorious land continues to be held captive deep underground. So if we keep digging, if we keep going further into the dungeon, potentially we find this kingdom. And it's being held captive by the Mad Magician. Hello, the Mad Magician. He looks kind of spooky, I don't know. Whomever defeats this magician, he offers everything his kingdom has. After he imparts these words, he turns to dust and vanishes. And that kind of gets everybody to go into the dungeon? Sure, I'm imagining nobody's found this mad magician yet then. And then, yeah, a very kind of self serious fantasy esque little kind of vocal sting there to end that sequence. Seems very high fantasy, seems very, you know, traditional. I was kind of in from here. And then we don't really address this again, and it turns into a little bit of a bit more of a jokey thing about eating food in the dungeon and eating monsters. So again, just interesting tonally. I wonder when we'll pick up this kind of stuff again. I wonder how late in the piece that'll be. But everyone loves a little bit of prophecy at the start of their stories. Now we go into the Red Dragon, right? And I'm not going to read the dialogue as strenuously from here, because generally the point of this scene is that we kind of meet the characters, get a few names. This is Leos, something like that. And his sister, Felin, I believe, gets eaten by the dragon and kind of casts a spell that sends all of them back outside. So when we see the party right here, right now, obviously this is who gets eaten. These two party members are the party members that kind of resign, and we're left with Marcil and Chilchuk. They set up an idea pretty early here of them being hungry, that being one of the main reasons why they weren't at their best during this sequence. I'm guessing they won't be hungry again when they face the Red Dragon, because hey, they're eating dungeon food now. They don't need to pack food. Their food can't be compromised by other people. They're going to live off the land. That's kind of cool. And yeah, it clearly sets up that rematch with the dragon at some point when we do feel full. Now, I'm surprised. Surprised is the wrong word? I don't know. Pleasantly? I don't know if it's pleasantly or not. There's not a lot of trigger isms in this show, really. It seems pretty straightforward. The art style is definitely leaning a little bit that way, especially with the female characters. They're leaning a little bit more trigger-esque, especially in the cutesy stuff when we're trying to do a little bit more of that. That's there for sure. Definitely looks like Little Witch Academia in points, I think. Certain facial animations, that kind of thing. But other than that, it doesn't. It's not. It's not Kill la Kill. It's not Hiroyuki Imaishi coded. It doesn't look like that, which is cool. I'm happy that a studio is able to branch out and not just make the same thing over and over again. But also, I'm a personal fan of such flourishes. Hopefully, we get further sequences that allow us to show off a little bit more. That's what I would like. Fallen with an A instead of an E. So yeah, Fallen gets her ass eaten and then kind of casts something that's very bright. It's blowing the fuck out of my screen right now. And then we're back on the surface. The gist of that spell there is it sent everybody else, but because she was halfway through being eaten, then it didn't work. It doesn't work from the inside of a dragon's stomach. Therefore, we now have our premise somewhat, which is, hey, we need to get back to the Red Dragon and save Fallen. She was able to cast the spell that saved us. It only makes sense that we want to now return the favor, not including the familial connection as well. There's lots of reasons why we want to go back down and do this thing. It seems like we're going full-on fantasy here. You seemingly have elf ears and elfish features and green eyes and stuff, so I don't know, that seems pretty out there. Senshi seems to be a dwarf, and Chilchuk, unless he's like a literal child, seems to be some kind of halfling or something like that. After waking up, we kind of pile on the bad news. We lost a lot of our stuff down in the dungeon. Not all of it got sent back with us, so we're down on money, we're down on the items we used to have, and two of our party members have resigned. So it's only the three of us at the moment, and I don't know what we're going to do. We want to save, obviously, Fallen, but we don't have the resources to do so. We're hungry, we're broke. Seems pretty bad. I do like the addition of the resignation letters. It gives a certain relatability, and I guess it relates it to a career. You could have a career in dungeon dwelling now because of what happened, right? Because of the opening of this little fucking hole in the ground, right? And it's official. It's, it reminds us of current day workplace environments. You get courted by other companies and you hand in a 2-week notice or something like that. It's very official like that. It's not quite as medieval as medieval dungeon dwelling, right? Dungeon diving. It's got a modern day flair that I think is quite humorous. I like that. Everything here is very matter of fact. When I first kind of heard about the show, I thought it would be way more, hey, there's specific dungeons all over the place. We're going to go to these dungeons with the kind of quest of eating something. Not that there's a larger quest to be had where we have to eat things along the way to sustain ourselves. It's like, hey, one big dungeon. It seems like most of the show is going to take place in the same dungeon, and that dungeon is very varied. It's extremely huge and can be basically any climate, it seems like, any kind of biome. So it's it's malleable. You can kind of do whatever story you want to do with whatever you want to eat that week. And instead of the dungeon food being the goal, it's more of a fact of life that we have to do whilst pursuing something greater. But again, this is only based off episode 1. I do like a few of these details. We see a lot of thought bubbles and little diagrams and that kind of thing. Reminds me of kind of the diagram of the slime later on as well. I wish this stuff was translated with my subset, but again, maybe I can pursue that in the future if there is one available. But yeah, just, looks like a manga panel, looks like some pretty, straightforward adaptation stuff, but nevertheless enjoyable. Yeah, more examples of it come through here with the various dishes we could buy in town. I think Marcel is cute. That's my kind of hard-hitting analysis on this section. She's probably my favorite so far. But again, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, that's not particularly surprising. I don't know. I like a straight man, and she's the only cute girl on the show. I don't know what to tell you. It's not practical to want to order all these, dishes that we just imagined at the moment. We're kind of broke, right? And if we really want to kind of rescue Fallen, right, then we need to make sacrifices. One of which could be sell all our gear, buy new gear, put it onto Leos here, and he's going to go into the dungeon and get her back all alone and be strong enough to do so based on his gear. However, we do that great anime protagonist teamwork thing, togetherness here, where, hey, we're not going to leave you alone. There's no way we're doing that. Blah, 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 blah. We're like a team. We're like a family. We're in this together. Did you just say Fallen Daisuke as well? That's interesting. Okay, sure. We both agree to help, but Leos here makes it kind of weird, where he's like, for better or for worse, right? It looks kind of scary. Also, I think you're like a thief. You're like a thief rogue type. That's like your class. So I was a bit confused about that a little bit earlier. More to the diagram stuff, we have a little bit of a kind of food pyramid here, right? Or not a food pyramid, a kind of who's the apex predator, that kind of thing. A chain of something. What do you call it? The food chain. That's it. I'm being stupid. Yeah, the dragon sitting at the top, obviously, but there's a various ecosystems in the dungeon that we can feed off of, right? It may be a little bit weird. We may have to eat fucking mushroom people and scorpions and stuff, but, there is stuff we can eat. The humans will now join that same food chain in various spots and, feed on the nutrients that are there, right? I do like how we bring up some interesting questions pretty early in the show. Like, hey, don't these things eat humans? Is it safe to eat a thing that's eaten a human? Is that not cannibalism? That would be weird, right? Or here's this thing that's like super poisonous, or like a slime, or who's to say what they've disintegrated into their bodies, right? Makes it a little bit weird. The primary example here being the dragon as well. So say we get to the dragon and want to eat parts of the dragon. Are we technically eating Fallen's nutrients, at least at some point? Because she's currently being digested, I think. So, like, ethical question, one that I've honestly never considered. I don't like thinking about where my food comes from. It's a scary, scary question. Obviously, here we see Senshi somewhere. Yeah, very quickly there. Kind of, yeah, in the foreground, just kind of notices them bickering, but is kind of looking for food or whatever. Before we can notice him kind of skulking along behind us, we get a random party that is running away from a fearsome monster, if VLC wants to behave. That party is important because it kind of mirrors our own. It's got a very similar face to Leos, and we've got Marcel type here. And then, I like how he bonked the mushroom. That's just funny. That's that triggerness coming through. Good comedic instincts. I wouldn't go straight for the mushrooms if I were you, but the book says it's safe. The book also kind of seems to be terrible because Senshi's got way better knowledge on the subject. Also like this little tantrum from from our new favorite as well. Now this is the thing that surprised me, right? We go off and we rush after a huge scorpion and we get a little bit of exposition about the dungeon, right? This is essentially the lobby. This is the lobby before people delve deeper down, right? People are selling various things, people are buying various things, people are teaming up, people are making connections. That's how popular the dungeon is for this particular town. It's basically like their entire place of work almost. It really does kind of give me Made in Abyss vibes, which is really interesting. I didn't expect us to go that direction. We're unsure where the monsters come from, and they attack humans like they have something to protect is interesting as well. All the kind of monsters here, kind of a symptom of the mad magician or something like that. Has he transformed regular everyday creatures into the things like this? Or is this just their natural environment now? It's hard to say. And we see the creatures here and their existence as evidence of a cursed capital down below because we kind of perceive it as a method of protection for it, right? The more we delve down, the harder the monsters, the tastier the food potentially, and the closer we get to that capital. It's hard to get exact character traits yet, but you seem. What's the word? Kind of stupid, for lack of a better term. Like, you don't really think things through entirely. You just kind of go with your gut, but you're naturally talented enough that it's actually going to work out. You fly by the seat of your pants, that kind of vibe. But you've also got a, like, softness to you, a little bit of a. Yeah, you're not over the top at all, I wouldn't say. You're just kind of matter-of-factly doing things that are a little bit strange. I like it comedically. It's pretty cool. The one which I'm really unsure about so far is Chilchuck. I don't really know what he adds besides sometimes agreeing with Leos here. So don't know. Of course, we immediately just put everything in a pot and then try to eat it, and it tastes like shit because we don't know what we're doing, right? So potentially we need somebody that knows what they're doing. And yeah, he kind of just takes over immediately. Hello, Senshi. So his deal is he's been in the dungeon for 10 years. Like he hasn't seen the surface. Is that what we're getting at? And he's been eating off the land, right? He's been hunter-gathering himself for ages, so he knows how to cook certain things. But I also feel like he was just waiting for his opportunity to find people that were willing to eat dungeon food so he could teach the techniques. You know, you were kind of skulking around earlier. Is there more to that? You wear a fucking wok on your back, which is kind of base too. And yeah, immediately takes over, actually cuts the scorpion properly, takes out its innards, tell us that the mushroom feet are tasty, which is a very important detail. And these are the parts that I'm going to find harder to talk about, considering that, hey, none of these foods actually exist. Like, I can't comment on somebody cutting a piece of a root of a tree or a little bit of like kind of moss off the top and using that for cooking. I'd imagine you can in real life as well, but this is fantasy cooking. He can kind of just do what he wants. Of course, you're going to object because that's your character at this time, but again, it's probably going to end up safe. I don't know. He probably knows what he's talking about. There was a couple of times where I thought we were going to do a really tropey, a little bit more, what would you say, cliched, kind of etchy moment, I guess you would say. Slime is definitely an opportunity to do something like that for sure. They resisted, and then there was kind of vines from the plant monsters later on, and they resisted. So not particularly a dirty show yet, I wouldn't say. Definitely coming off of Konosuba, this seems again a little bit more quaint. Either way, Senshi quickly deals with said slime and then explains various ways we could cook it, none of which sound like they're worth the effort if you're eating slime at the end of the day. He does seem extremely prepared. He's got a slime drying net ready to go as well, which dries it as you walk around. He literally goes, he pulls some out and he's like, here's one I prepared earlier, which is really fun. And they act as kind of like noodles for the hot pot that we're doing, which is fun. I really like like, here's one I prepared earlier. Very fun, like almost cooking show element. That's an interesting question as well that I didn't really consider. Chilchuck asks, was the dungeon even really around for 10 years for you to be down here that long? If not, that could be evidence that you're from some kind of capital, right? You may think you're from the surface, or I don't know how old you are. You seem kind of old, but yeah, it just seems really like an odd detail that you would have been here for 10 years and then Chilchuck's like, is the dungeon even around that long? Is he one of the guys from the fucking intro? I don't know. I think maybe I'm thinking too much about the dungeon eating show. I'm going to imagine we're going to see a lot of tasty looking food, like please give me like a bowl of this right now. That sounds amazing. Looks so fresh and good for you as well. So many fucking vitamins and minerals in that bowl. And this kind of scorpion stuff, it just looks like lobster or something like that, crayfish. So hell yeah. I'm guessing the devil of this show will be in the details. I do like how we cook the pink scorpion or the purple one and then it turns red. That's cool. I like how the meat kind of forms and gets into these little chunks that are easily edible for Leos here. So pretty good. Obviously, Marcel is a little bit, hesitant, which is fair enough. But ultimately, she gets too hungry that she has to eat some of it, asks what it is the entire time, but enjoys eating it. Although we're hesitant about where all the ingredients come from, we happily finish our bowls. It's all very tasty, and Senshi introduces himself. And now we get into a little bit of introducing him to our plight, so we can kind of party up. Yeah, one of our companions got eaten. They were eaten by a red dragon. Apparently, they digest much more slowly than other monsters, which is great news. It means we can probably draw this storyline out a little bit longer. Like, hey, how much of the show, how much of the episodes in the run right now are we looking for the red dragon? That'll be an interesting question to answer. But it seems like it's going to be quite a while till we get back down to where we were. From here, Senshi kind of invites himself because he wants to eat the red dragon, which is kind of craziness, but you do you, King. And yeah, we kind of let a big weirdo join our party. And yeah, this little diagram's fun. If you're being digested into you and then we all eat that, is that kind of really close to cannibalism? Anyway, don't think about it. So this is the surprising part. This is where I'm like, well, shit, this feels way more like Made in Abyss. We have these different levels, like we're going down and down and down, but they're just really different kind of ecosystems, right? It's a pretty vast dungeon, and kind of this lets you know how kind of flexible the premise will be. It kind of allows you to do anything you want. And that's really cool. We got this weird treetop village type thing. It's really exciting. Like, if this was a video game, I would be fucking pumped right now. Imagine looking through this whole section and keeping on going down. And yeah, this kind of diagram here gives me Dark Souls vibes, as we continue going down, there's a bigger castle and more dungeons and that kind of thing, and we can kind of see the different sections we're at. So this was town, this was a little bit of the graveyard. Now we're in the treetop section, where we'll be for quite a bit before we continue descending. Just cool. I really want a way bigger map. That would be really fun. Either way, Marcel trips over and we decide we're getting kind of tired, so we should camp for the night. We kind of slept in a hollow tree before, but now with our new kind of dungeon meal tech stuff, we're going to need to find something to eat for the night. Here, Marcel does that pretty prototypical annoying person around dinner time type thing. Oh yeah, I'll eat anything, blah, 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 blah. And then, hey, when I suggest something, no, I don't feel like that. No, I don't feel like that. No, I don't feel like that. On a base level, we've still got some of that scorpion broth soup that Senshi's got as well, but she continues to deny. That being said, some of the things we offer as answers here do sound pretty disgusting. Like, I don't want to eat a goblin. That sounds pretty bad. Senshi here suggests that, there may be some things that we can eat. There may be some fruits growing, some plants growing that we may be able to munch on, and maybe something that appeals to Marcel more than goblin meat. The plants are carnivorous, which, brings up that same ethical quandary, and she's not very impressed, as you can see. This is a pretty good counter-argument to that whole quandary. Hey, all of our food comes from fucking dead remains and animal dung. Technically, yeah, that's what's giving the soil the nutrients to make the food that we eat, right? So, it's all pretty disgusting if you break it down, so, I don't know. Let's just continue doing what we're doing. We do mention that there would be no corpses in the meals as well, which gets kind of subverted later on as well. Marcel here steps forward. She's going to get rid of all the plants in one shot, and I do like this as a little bit of philosophy for the show. Kind of, we go to fire that giant spell at the entire plant, right? And the criticism is twofold. Only take as much as you'll eat, so that's kind of really fun. That's like a really nomadic way of kind of living off the land that I enjoy, as well as, hey, you don't want to get magic on your food. It'll taste bad. So apparently magic tastes bad. I can't tell you that I knew that. Like, this is the stuff I'm talking about. You could have went way too hard here, for lack of a better term, with the ecchi, which I'm happy that we didn't in this particular case. We get some more pretty funny examples here of Laos's type of comedy, like explaining that certain plants plant kind of skin-deep parasites in people and use them to spread their plantedness around. Yeah, probably not something you should tell somebody that is literally being strangled by tentacles at the moment, but he does come through and save the day with his big, powerful sword. Very cool. Yeah, he just really doesn't know when to shut up about the poisonous, deadly plants, right? And then this is a really interesting cut with just this. That's all we get. I kind of think it's funny. People could think it's like really lazy, but I think it just works. It's just like a zoom in of the frame. like emphasizing the reaction that she's having to the situation. It's also very manga panel. I don't mind this at all. I think yeah, it kind of threw me early, but I've warmed to it. Either way, then we get onto our cooking segment. We've got various plants and vegetables and that kind of thing, and we're going to throw them into a tart. And yeah, a few of the techniques used here are actually pretty cool. So we've got these capsicum bell pepper type things. We're going to kind of steam them and then melt them down. They'll actually turn into a non-stick kind of pie casing, tart casing type thing that is also like super vegan as well. I don't know, that's kind of fun. And then yeah, we mix a bunch of the other fruit with various ingredients, including from the scorpions and the slimes from earlier, and it turns into this kind of pie filling. It even gives it a little bit of the salt bay there at the end. Like, that may be a good thumbnail as well. I like that. Apparently it's got a bit of a salty flavor, which is weird for the fruit. Maybe that comes through in a little bit more of the scorpion stuff. I do like that Marcel really comes around here. This is the first thing that she really, really enjoys. Yeah, it's, you know, cathartic to see that she finally likes something that we're eating. Hopefully this is kind of like her journey of discovering that this stuff isn't so bad as we continue and doesn't turn into a kind of same joke fest. I hope you grow as we move and aren't just a stick in the mud the entire time. Because that does look delicious. Yeah, we even have Leos here kind of confirming my point of view, shedding a singular kind of happy tear at seeing that she's finally getting interested. Hopefully you don't revert on that. And yeah, a little bit of that is a little bit of the triggerness between like kind of that and Super Mad, kind of that little zoom in, very cartoony. Nice stuff. I didn't really show the corpse again, but here's a corpse. It looks kind of disgusting because of how grey it is. That's just, I don't like that. We're going to leave it out in the open and somebody else will find it and take it to where it's meant to go. What's a straightforward way that we make sure that people see it? Let's hang it up. It does make this area look a little bit grisly, though. It seems like some kind of execution site, but yeah. And then, yeah, we do a, you know, really like wink wink nudge nudge looking into the camera outro where we say Dungeon Meshi a number of times, you know, just quote the name of the show. Basically there's no real hierarchy out here. Whoever wins is those who get to eat, and that's the vibe we have going forward. And yeah, we're looking for Fallen. Hopefully she's there at some point. Dungeon Meshi, Dungeon Meshi. Then yeah, we close that book up, and then we get an ED from ED or OP, I'm unsure, by Bump of Chicken, where I think it's a really comfy song. This is also a fantastic frame. This looks fucking excellent. This looks cool as shit. I like his sword too. Yeah, we'll get a good look at all the character designs here that are potentially there in the future. I don't have lyrics for the song in front of me, but let's just say it's some kind of wistful and vibrant thing about the joys of youth, or whatever Bump of Chicken normally write about. A few of these images are interesting. There's lots of blue sky in the background. Doesn't really give the feel of a dungeon, potentially, but, you know, a couple boats. Is there potentially underground seas that we're going to run into? I don't know. Seems pretty cool. Obviously, we're getting a little bit abstract with it as well, because you're just a giant person here. And we've got an adventuring group down here that seem like they're people as well, so you know, we're just having fun with the OP or whatever. Yeah, it's kind of a really cool visual style. And here's a few new characters. Or were you the guy from the intro? I'm unsure, but you seem like a, you know, samurai class type guy. Sure, very official. Probably play as a straight man off of other ridiculousness from ridiculous characters. I don't know who you are, but I kind of like it. So, you know, you have that going for you. You almost look like a giant. You look like you should be that big compared to these people, where the other people looks a little bit more abstract. I'd imagine she's very big. Another very official character. I wouldn't be surprised if this is another straight man. But again, we've got a very not straight man over here looking like a straight man, so you can't really tell at the moment. And you seem important. You may be related to overall plot stuff, I'm thinking, right? Yeah, look at those eyes. You seem important. And then, yeah, we just get a trillion billion different characters here as well. Like, yeah. This almost reminds me of, you know, Dragon Maid's opening, where it's kind of like there's just a million characters doing that spin move. Similar there, where it's just, hey, these characters may be only here for an episode, but we're going to put them in here anyway just for shits and gigs. Yeah, all the girls there were reaching up, I think. Yeah, they're all girls, I think. Yeah. Couple interesting designs there too. And then all the boys are reaching down. Yeah, this almost seems fucking cool. These are elves on a boat? That's something. And you seem like an important character. And that's where kind of Marcel was standing in front of the boats. So that's something. And then there's like a lion there, and then I'm getting bathed in blood. Okay, that's a bit weird. And then after that, after waking back up, we're way back into cooking dungeon food and that kind of thing. So, question mark, I do not know. You know what? I just thought about it, and it's two shows that I've seen pretty recently on the channel. This feels like a halfway between Konosuba and Freerun. Not quite as kind of spanning and kind of blissful and thought-provoking and all these other things as Freerun, but kinda, and not quite as farcical and ridiculous and over the top as Konosuba, but kinda. We still have jokes. It's kind of an in between there. Wonder if that's an apt comparison. And then we have Netflix doing the Netflix thing, which did annoy me. I had to be released from my mortal coil. Either way, that was episode 1. I've got some things I like about it and some things I'm unsure of yet. But again, we're going to give this more episodes. I'm imagining I'm going to do 2 next week at this pace, you'd think. If the show remains as it has been so far, probably something like that, and I probably won't talk about them in as great a length each and every time. We'll see. So yeah, I'm happy to be watching this. It seems cool. I like the characters, which is, you know, you're halfway there at that point. What else? This will come out in this slot every week, so you'll get a set of episodes every week, whether it be 1, 2, or 3. Depends on what I'm feeling like, depends on my schedule. As well as also doing Revolutionary Girl Utena and Hibike Euphonium on the channel at the moment, which are 2 excellent shows. I'm actually really happy with all the shows I have. There's nothing that's, you know, really that it gets a good range of stuff, I think. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm going to do some show stuff now. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord, love Discord, Discord, and I'll catch you next week for more Dungeon Meshi, delicious in Dungeon. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.